Hey guys, it's CGM here again. Got another nice little Excel game to show you. Last time I showed you the Snakes and Ladders game that I'd made. This time I want to show you a Connect 4 game that took me about half an hour to make. So it was really easy to make. And it turned out quite nice and neat. So yeah, just wanted to show you how it works. So similar to the Snakes and Ladders game, it's got a couple of buttons for the user to start the game and reset the game. I mean, the Snakes and Ladders game had a bit more UI, but yeah, this game only needs the user to start the game. And there's all the code. We'll get into that in a minute. And you can reset the game as you saw there. The player's turn there's no one's turn now because the game's been reset, and then when you want to start the game, it makes it player one's turn. So I'm sure everyone knows how Connect 4 works, but basically it's a two-player game. You take it in turns to place a counter on the grid, and you have to try and get 4 in a row. Typically, it's played by placing the counter in the top here, and the counters fall down to the bottom. So it's not possible to make a turn unless there's a counter below it. So if you try and make a move here, it will tell you it's an invalid move. There has to be a counter beneath it for it to make a turn. Quite a nice feature of this is that it makes use of a nice neat little bit of VBA code which you can use in many different things, and we'll take a look at the code in a minute. But basically the user just needs to touch, or click on the box. They don't actually need to click into the box, they just need to click on the box, and the program does the rest. So now you can see that this is updated to show that it's player 2's turn. So when player 2 goes, it basically fills in with the green colour, and so on. So it will keep flipping between the two. Obviously this isn't how you would normally start Connect 4. But yeah, it will keep going and flipping between the two until one person manages to connect 4 in a row, which we will just show you here. So player 2 wins because they connected 4 in a row, so the game will actually look and find the 4 and tell you when you win, and then users will just need to reset the game and start it again, and then you can go through. So yeah, if you go anywhere that's not got a counter, I guess, already below it, then it will come up with an invalid move, as before. So hopefully that makes a bit more sense now that you've seen that the game played out a little bit. So yeah, the grid is a 7 by 6, so it's super easy to make. I just made the grid, threw in these buttons. There's quite a few hidden cells here, sort of behind the scenes, and it will make more sense of why those are needed in a minute. But I figured because it's so simple, I would run through a little bit of the VBA behind it. So yeah, it's really simple code. The buttons here are just the start game. Basically tells it up here which player's turn it is. So it will put a 1 in here, and the reset basically clears all this, and clears all of this is effectively a memory of where people have been on the board. So it will just clear this, and it will clear up here, so it's a fresh start. And then when you start the game, it will just place a 1 in here and then a 1 in the game started box. Okay, so let's take a look at the code. So this is basically a function that or a sub that I've put within the sheet. So basically what this is it's a selection change sub, which has to be placed within a sheet. You can't place it within a module. And what it does is it basically runs in the background, and anytime there's an update to the sheet, you can get it to trigger a certain action. So it doesn't require a button press or anything like that. It will run in the background. And what is quite nice is that you don't have to click into cells and things like that. You can literally click on cells, so it's about what your selection is, rather than sort of individual cells. So this first line of code here is basically defining my range. So this is the range that I want it to look at whether somebody clicks on the cell. So it's saying within this 6x7 grid, if someone clicks on that, then it needs to perform a certain action. So next it says if the range k2, so here, equals 1, so if you've started the game, then it will carry on. If you've not started the game, then further down here it will tell you that there's a message box saying that you need to press the start button before you make a move. So provided that you've clicked in one of these cells and that you've started the game, then it looks at this bit down here, which basically says which player's turn it is, so whether it needs to put a 1 in the memory or a 2 in the memory, and by that it looks at whether there's a 1 in here or a 1 in here, depending on whose turn it is. So what it does is it looks at whose turn it is, and if you click on a cell here, it was going to put, because it's player 2's turn now up here, it's going to put a 2 in the corresponding sort of memory over here, and it keeps track of it. So then after that, as you saw, it then needs to flip it from player 2, so it deletes out the 1 out of player 2's turn and adds a 1 into player 1's turn. So it's really simple, really easy, and this sub selection change I use it lots in Excel, and it's really great. It's a great tool for making some spreadsheets at work and things like that. So if you do want a tutorial on some more examples of selection change VBA, then please let me know. But yeah, so the main use of it, what it's using is this target. So target cell is the one that basically I've got my cursor or selected at the moment. So this would be the target, and it's basically pulling in the column and the row number of that target, adding 11 and 1 onto here basically, to make it input into the memory. And then a bit further down, it's basically just got an if statement. This is the logic for who wins. So basically it looks at a cell, let's pick one in the middle so it's a bit easier to understand. It picks a cell over here, so the corresponding cell in the memory, and looks 3 ways in every direction, diagonals as well, to see whether the value in this cell is the same as any of those, and if it is, someone has won because they've connected 4. And then when someone wins, it puts the winner in here, and it flags up a message box to say who the winner was. So yeah, I think it's pretty neat. Yeah, as I said, it didn't take me very long to make a tool. It took me about half an hour. I think it's quite a neat little game, and I enjoy Connect 4 anyway. So the game will be available for download in the description. And yeah, if you want a more detailed explanation of anything, or if you want a tutorial on the selection change VBA, because it is really useful, then please let me know, and I'll make a video on that. Thanks a lot, guys. See you in the next episode.